Welcome back to the channel, and today's topic is the 2 thought patterns that scream addiction. By the way, I'm Coach Malik. I'm author of Overcoming Addiction Through Grace, as well as founder of Amazing Grace Recovery. So let's dive right in. So one of the patterns, the thought patterns, the mindsets that screams that you may have an addiction is you're constantly thinking about something bad is going to happen. That means that you wake up in the morning and already the anxiety, the worry about what is this day going to bring, just feeling a bunch of just turmoil on the inside. You get a phone call, your mind immediately shifts to, this is going to be bad news. What's happening? Something's going on. Someone knocks on the door. You're thinking, oh, I did something. They're coming to lock me up. They're coming to do something to me. You're getting mail. You're looking at your mail. Before you even open your mail, you're saying, I'm going to get a bad letter. Something's going to happen. So it's very critical to see these signs. And when your mind starts to think about negative things constantly, it's a good chance that your addiction has taken over. Another sign is you're constantly thinking about what's wrong in your life. In other words, you're lacking gratitude. Nothing is ever good enough. And a lot of this is because once we've crossed that line, the line that you crossed in casual using of drugs or social drinking, and now it's a full-blown addiction, we've crossed that line of the dopamine now. In other words, there's been a shift in the way our brain works. So now the same normal things that we would do that will bring us joy, that will bring us happiness, the natural dopamine that we had is now altered. So now the only way you're getting those sensations of feeling good and having joy, you have to be filled up with the drug you're using or the alcohol, or for some it's even gambling. So when you start noticing these signs, then you could be heavy in your addiction and not even know it. So pay attention and start taking inventory. So why are these things happening? A lot of this is stemming from fear, because when we're in full-blown addiction, when we're in active addiction, we are fearful about what the future is going to bring. And that fear begins to shape our behavior. It begins to shape our perspective. So if you're waking up with anxiety, with a worry about you, you are already setting the tone for your whole day to be filled with anxious thoughts, with negativity. So what we need to do, the answer is renewing your mind. And how do you do that? You can renew your mind in several ways. Some of the ways that has worked for myself and many others is first starting with thinking about what you're thinking about. I want you to start asking yourself questions. Number one is it true what I'm feeling, or is this just an emotion? Because it's a fact that we're going to feel emotions, that we're going to have thoughts, but it doesn't mean that those emotions are thoughts or thoughts are facts. So beginning to dissect those thoughts and really think and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Why do I feel anxious? What is happening? Is this true, what I'm feeling? Because a lot of times the stuff that we're thinking about, the stuff that you thought about in the past, that you were worried about, that you were fearful about, none of it even came to pass. So this is a sign that addiction is taking over your mind and it's starting to shift your brain, the way your brain is working. So that's a warning sign. Another way to renew your mind is to start filling your mind with positive thoughts. Fill your mind with the Word of God. Fill your mind with uplifting, inspirational devotionals, and start pushing away the thoughts that you used to think. So that will look like for you to, after you've analyzed your thoughts and understanding why you're thinking the way you are and thinking about those thoughts, why am I thinking that? And you come to realize that those are just emotions and not facts. Now you will begin to replace those negative thoughts. And it starts, make no mistake about it, none of this works if we're continuing in our addiction. If we're continuing to drink alcohol and you know that you've crossed that line. So alcohol starts off when you're drinking as a uplifting thing. It makes you feel good. It lowers your inhibitions. You're social. You're having fun. You're in this atmosphere that makes you think that everything in life is just great. But the tricky part is when you start coming down from alcohol, from your drunk, that's when the depression sets in, because alcohol is a depressant. So that's in the morning when you're feeling the hangovers and that worry about what did I do last night. All of those things start setting in. So same thing with drugs. You may be high and feeling great when you've just snorted some coke, or you've hit some crack. You might be feeling great and feeling like Superman, Superwoman. But the truth is, when that high goes down, that's when the terror shows up, the depression, the sadness, all of these feelings. So none of this works as far as renewing your mind until we let go of those things that are slowly destroying us. You're getting new knowledge, you're getting wisdom and understanding, and you're starting to train your mind to have the right perspective, and you're putting the right things in your mind now, and you're starting to go away from those negative thoughts, and you're discarding all of those destructive thoughts, which lead to destructive behaviors. An example of this is you may have already told yourself that I know I have a problem. I know I need to stop drinking alcohol. I know I need to stop using drugs. I know I need to stop gambling. But your mind is constantly going to a negative space saying, this is going to be so hard to stop. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't think I can do this. So now the renewing of the mind challenges those thoughts and says, that's not true. Because guess what? Hundreds of thousands of people have done it. So if they did it, you can do it. So what you start doing now is saying, instead of, I know how hard this is going to be, now you're going to start saying, let me take this thing one day at a time. Let me just get through today without using. Let me follow the suggestions that others have given me. Let me start taking these suggestions and applying them to my life. Let me do first things first. Let me talk to someone who has been through this, who is showing that they have done this, that have lived through that mindset where they never thought they could do it. So these are some things that it's the same example, or a different example of the same thing would be someone wins $500 through a sweepstakes or something, but the total amount of the sweepstakes was $50,000, but they won $500. The right mindset would say, I'm grateful that I won $500, and that's good. The wrong mindset will say, I didn't win the 50,000. I only won 500, and they're mad about it. And that's the same thing that happens to our mind in addiction, because no matter what good things are going on in our life, the blessings, everything that's happening that we are not even paying attention to, that is a blessing, we totally miss it because all we're thinking about is getting to that next high, because that's the thing that has become our God. That's the thing that has become your idol, to where nothing else seems to be good unless you're doing that drug, unless you have that drink, unless you're gambling at the casino or an app on your phone. So if you are noticing these signs of this mindset that you're having, that nothing is ever good enough, that I'm just waiting for bad things to happen, all I can see is bad things, that you're just not grateful, I encourage you to, number one, join my Freedom from Addiction Facebook group. Go on there, join us. It's a community where we discuss these topics. It's a safe place to talk about these things. And we all are going through it, or we know someone that is going through it. Also, leave in the comment section something that you may want me to discuss on a future video, because it's going to take commitment, it's going to take community, it's going to take faith, and it's going to take work to overcome this addiction. I look forward to hearing from you. God bless.